You can't live here. That's what my new neighbor screamed at me, right in the middle of the woods, while I was unloading my moving truck on land I just legally bought. Imagine thinking you've finally escaped a nightmare HOA, divorce papers still warm, and the very first human you see in your so-called sanctuary tries to evict you before you even get your boots muddy. Welcome to Pine Ridge, population, one newly single guy with a busted heart, and one walking migraine in a fuchsia visor named Karen Stone. And if you think that's the punchline, just wait. What she didn't know, I own the very thing that could ruin her. Ever had a neighbor from hell? Drop a comment, because this revenge is tailor-made. Let me rewind a second, because honestly, what happened next would blow your mind. Just half a year earlier, I was sitting in a divorce attorney's office, watching my marriage get smothered under HOA fines and lawsuits. Jessica, my ex, looked at me like a drowning person who finally gave up. "I can't do this anymore, Tom." She signed her name, hand shaking, tears tracing the outline of the woman I married. 3 fights with the Meadowbrook Association had burned through our credit, our savings, our sanity. I watched Jessica flinch at every mailbox creak, every certified letter, dreading which new violation would be waiting. We bled tens of thousands in fines and fees, watched our dream home become a shoebox policed by clipboard commandos. After the bills got split, all I had left was $18,000 from what used to be our savings. Then, in a fit of desperation, I found it. Forest cabin, 2 bedrooms, 15 acres off-grid, listed at $180,000. The listing was pure bait, a log cabin among pines, a crystal-clear lake shining through the kitchen window, all wrapped up by Walter Hayes, an old man with the handwriting of a saint. Peaceful retreat for someone who wants to be left alone. 3 hours north of the city, GPS dropped me 20 minutes short. I navigated by Walter's scrawled map, over ruts, past trees older than my career. When I finally rolled into that clearing, all I could do was exhale. For the first time in years, I felt it. Real peace. The logs looked weathered, the chimney sturdy, and the only sound was wind through pine needles. My moving truck coughed and died, and I was still smiling when she appeared. Karen Stone stepped out of the woods with the swagger of a corporate raider lost at a yoga retreat. Flawless blonde bob, business casual that had never seen a patch of real dirt. "Excuse me." Her voice shattered the calm, sharp as a chainsaw through silk. That HOA pitch, manufactured authority and pure outrage. "You can't just move in here." She closed the distance, clutching a manila folder so thick it could have been the next great American novel. "This is a private community. Where's your paperwork? You'd think I was moving into Fort Knox." Every HOA survival instinct screamed at once, warning me this was round 2. I forced a breath, tried to sound like a sane adult. "Ma'am, I bought this place legally. Here's my deed." I handed her Walter's folder, every stamp, seal, signature in order. She barely glanced, flicked her hand, and sneered. "I don't care what paper you have. There are procedures. You can't just show up without community approval." She yanked out her phone, dialing at panic speed. "Brad, the cabin has unauthorized people. They have a truck and everything." My moving crew froze, watching the circus unfold. Miguel, the crew chief, leaned over. "We can wait if you want to sort this out, but we charge by the hour." I told them, "Keep unloading." Karen finished her emergency call and pivoted to another rant. "You can't use our road without board approval. You need to sign agreements." It felt like a bad HOA rerun. I tried to sound reasonable. "If there are guidelines, let's talk about them. But I bought this place fair and square." Karen's eyes narrowed to slits. "You'll hear from the community board. Nobody lives in Pine Ridge without our say-so." And then, like a woodland phantom, she stormed back into the trees. As she vanished, a note slipped from my deed folder, Walter's handwriting. "Tom, read Clause 23 carefully. You'll need it." But I was too busy hauling boxes to decode clues. That evening, I kept replaying Karen's threats, wondering if I'd accidentally bought into some weird rural HOA. That first night by the fireplace should have felt like victory, but all I saw was Karen's face, heard her threats. 5 weeks went by in blissful silence. No Karen, no drama. I met real neighbors, Robert and Dorothy Williams, the kind of folks who show up with cookies and goodwill, not clipboards. "We're so glad someone's living here again," Dorothy said. "Walter built this place himself, good bones." Robert got serious, warned me. "Karen's been stirring up drama about you. She thinks she runs things, but most of us ignore her." Then, 1 week after moving in, an official-looking envelope landed in my mailbox. Pine Ridge Community Board. Inside, mandatory attendance required for new resident orientation, scheduled at, you guessed it, Karen's house. Failure to attend may result in access restrictions and community violations. It was HOA deja vu. I Googled Pine Ridge Community Board. Nothing. No registration, no legal documentation. Just Karen and her made-up empire. But I decided to attend, see how deep her scam ran. Karen's place looked like a mountain resort, not a forest cabin. Her living room was set up like a courtroom. Folding chairs in a circle, a podium with a gavel, 8 neighbors already seated. "Welcome to Pine Ridge Community Board," Karen chirped, introducing her husband Brad, the reluctant treasurer, and Susan, the sheepish secretary. Then came the speech about community standards, property values, and, get this, road usage fees, $200 a month for road maintenance. I asked for documentation, incorporation papers, financials. Karen deflected. "We operate on good faith here. No answers, no records, just vibes." That's when I realized this whole board existed in Karen's head and whatever she could bully out of her neighbors. The $200 fee was just her slush fund. The next day, I found orange traffic cones blocking half the road, a hand-painted sign, "Community residents only, $50 daily guest fee," Karen's number at the bottom. She turned herself into Pine Ridge's traffic cop. Lawn chair, clipboard, camera, stopwatch. Every trip became an obstacle course. Fake tickets appeared on my windshield. Excessive speed, unauthorized noise disruption, failure to yield. The citations were so official-looking it'd be funny if it wasn't harassment. Karen tracked my every move, documenting with photos and notes, ratcheting up the pressure like it was her job. It all came to a head one Thursday when she blocked the road completely. "Karen, you need to move these cones. This is harassment." I started filming. She doubled down for the camera, reciting her script about protecting community values. I called the county clerk. "There's no such board," they told me. "You might want to talk to the sheriff." I spent that night reading my deed, searching for Walter's mysterious clause. Then I called him. Walter picked up with a chuckle. "I've been waiting for this call. You want to know who really owns that road?" Turns out I did. Walter explained. My deed included ownership of the whole 1.2-mile road from the highway to my cabin. No one else had rights. Karen? She was trespassing every time she put down a cone. He'd seen her bully neighbors for years, draining old Mrs. Patterson's savings with fake fines. Most folks just want peace, Tom. They'd rather pay than fight. But Walter knew I'd fight. "You survived an HOA. You're our best shot." Armed with this knowledge, I met a property lawyer, Michael. He confirmed it. Ironclad road ownership. No shared easements. No legal authority for Karen's shakedowns. Michael advised me, document everything. Install cameras, keep a log, collect every fake ticket and roadblock. And so I did. Cameras caught Karen patrolling, leaving tickets, collecting money from neighbors. Anywhere from $50 to $200 a month. Mrs. Patterson even described how Karen had conned her out of $800 with threats of landscaping violations. All cash, all fake. Karen targeted the elderly, the quiet, those least likely to push back. Karen upped the ante, a community safety patrol with 4 neighbors, clipboards, cameras, and a log tracking my every move when I bought groceries, when I checked my mail. She threatened to call the state over unsafe conditions at my place. Even Brad, her husband, began to break. "Karen, maybe we should leave Tom alone. This has gotten out of hand." She exploded. "I control this road. Everyone will respect my authority or find somewhere else to live." That's when I made my move. I encouraged Karen to call a meeting, let her dig her own hole. She rented the community center, sent out invitations, mandatory community meeting to resolve road access disputes. She created a whole PowerPoint, fake traffic studies, photos of my truck labeled unauthorized vehicle storage. When the meeting began, 22 people packed the hall. Karen gave a 45-minute TED Talk on my supposed violations. The grand finale? An ultimatum. Pay $2,400 in fees or lose access. I stood up, calm as a monk. Thanks for your presentation, Karen. But I brought some documents too. I plugged my laptop into the projector, showing the deed, clause 23 highlighted, county survey map, property boundaries in red. I own this road. All of it. There's no shared usage, no easement. Every inch of gravel you've been patrolling is my private property. Michael the lawyer joined by speakerphone, confirming it. No ambiguity. Tom owns the road. No one else has rights. You could feel the air leave the room. Phone snapped photos. Some people looked betrayed, others furious. Neighbors started asking Karen, "Where's the money been going? What are these fees for?" Jake, a young dad, confronted her. "We've been paying $200 a month. Was it all a scam?" Karen melted down, shrieking that she was protecting the community and that I was using fake documents. Brad tried to calm her. She turned on him. 3 neighbors walked out. Another stood up, Paul, who'd signed Karen's petition to kick me out. "Karen, you made us sign under false pretenses. You lied about Tom." I laid out the new reality. Anyone who wants to use the road can, for a fair fee, $75 a month, covering real maintenance. Karen, for you? $125 to account for harassment, fake tickets, and attempted extortion. Relief swept the room. The next day, 12 neighbors signed agreements, paid fees, and apologized. 3 diehards tried to take the long, scenic route through the mountains. 2 weeks later, they were back. Even Karen, after locking herself away for a week, finally showed up, meek, desperate, holding a checkbook. "What are my options for road access?" she asked, barely above a whisper. "Same as everyone else. But your Karen tax is $125. Now every month, Karen delivers her check, on time, no eye contact, no more power games." The neighborhood? Happier than ever. Property values are up, the roads actually maintained, people wave instead of glaring. No more fake boards, no more intimidation, just a real community, one that learned the hard way not to fall for bullies with clipboards and gavel dreams. And as I watched Karen make that monthly walk of humility, paying me for the right to live in her own home, I can't help but wonder how many communities are just one confident fraud away from disaster. What would you have done in my shoes? Drop your own HOA or neighbor from hell nightmare below, and let's talk about what real justice looks like, because I guarantee you've got a story.